Good morning, risers. This is Dr. Patricia Joe Grover, the goal achievement strategist and the queen of retaking, reshaping, and remaking lives, businesses, and futures. Here I am with you this morning. This is a Monday morning. So this is planning day for me. And we're going to talk more about planning and the importance of that. I mean, it's a must. So get ready, grab your coffee or tea, and come hang out with me. I'm having some coffee this morning. You hear my voice is a little funky because it's that's what happens when weather changes for me. I have allergies. So um not gonna let anything stop me. You guys have heard the challenges that I'm facing now and have been, but it's all about being able to step forward and working with systems to help me get through and where I want to be. Okay. So grab your coffee or tea and come hang out with me this morning. Okay. So here I am, got my coffee. I don't know about you guys. I either have to have coffee or tea. Some mornings I feel more like one than the other, but all right. So risers, I'm just following through with what I have been teaching you and with the struggles that I've been facing myself. I'm using myself as an example with much of this. But everything that I do, I walk my own talk on a daily basis. And so utilizing living outside the box, the goal achievement strategist guide to reaching your full potential, I use everything myself that I teach my clients all over the globe. So this is for you to really get to see this in action and things working. So we're not going to get where we want to go unless we have a plan to get there. And so this is key. Planning is key. Having planning days in your planner and calendar is a necessity. When I wrote my book, this first book, I did a lot of research. Now, 80% of success is showing up and being engaged. And we talked about showing up for yourself yesterday. But showing up and being engaged in your own life, achieving your own dreams and goals, utilizing your own skills and talents that God gave you to help yourself and help others. So we're putting all these puzzle pieces together, and I talk in my book about puzzle pieces because that's my philosophy. But I want to share with you today about I want to help you understand why smarter plans are necessary. So I'm going to break it down to you. And many people, some people here, some people watching may not be familiar with a smart plan is, let alone a smarter plan. So we got to get started somewhere, right? We have to have a point A to start from. So let me help you with this. So in my book, again, I shared, was it a week ago, whatever, about how important planning is and why I have a talk about the smarter plan, 2 different places in my book. So I explained about it a little bit, but then it's so important. I have a chapter all on its own about the smarter plan. But many people don't understand. So I really want to help everybody be able to wrap their heads around this. So the S in smarter means specific or systematic. And I utilize both of those terms for it. So you want to be very specific about the goal that you are trying to achieve, but very specific about the steps that you're going to take in order to achieve it. So that's very specific. And systematic means things are going to happen in a certain sequence. So that's your prioritization and synchronization. And I teach that in what I do as well. But specific and systematic is the S. Now you're measurable. You have to have those, each part of your plan be measurable. You need to, like I talk about, having our budgets of our time, our money, and our energy. So we know when we're checking in on our planning days, remember planning days, that we are able to keep ourselves on track. If we have darted off track a little bit with our budget, right, our spending plan of our time, our money, or our energy on our planning day, we can reroute ourselves and get back on track. If you don't keep planning days in your planner and calendar, you could get so far off track, you're going to self sabotage and lose any chance of achieving that goal, right? So this is why it's important for each part of the plan to be measurable. Okay, then the A is achievable. We have to know that it's not too totally realistic, but unrealistic, but we need to stretch ourselves because we need to realize that if we do just stretch yourself a little bit, that you can achieve more. Don't put a limit on what it is that you can do. So stretch yourself a little bit when you're putting together plans or goals that you want to achieve. So they have to be achievable, not a pie in the sky thing completely, right? And they have to be action based. I talk all the time, guys, about having to take intentional action. This is where it all comes, all the puzzle pieces come together. They have to be action based, moving forward. We cannot hold ourselves in the same place all the time. We need to take action to get positive and forward movement. Whether we're facing a challenge or an opportunity, remember this, guys. Okay, then the R. The R means they have to be realistic, but they also have to be relative. They have to be relative. Your plans have to be relative to what it is that you're trying to achieve. So realistic and relative. Now, when you talk about achievable and realistic, again, I don't want you to limit yourselves by not stretching a little bit. We need to sometimes, okay? Sometimes we need to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions in order to move forward and gain positive results. Because all the time, so sometimes we need to put ourselves in those positions, but all the time we need to take intentional action. There's your clarification there. Then the T in the SMART plan is time-based. We need to put a time on each milestone, each step of that plan that we are moving through in order to get from where we're currently finding ourselves to where we want to be. So time-based, we need to know when, first of all, when it needs to be achieved by, or that cutoff date, that final date, that's where we need to be. And then work backwards from there. Okay, this needs to happen this day. This needs to happen that day. This needs to happen that day in order for it all to be done by a certain day and time. So that's time-based. So that's the SMART plan that has been used for centuries, I believe, all over the globe. But as the ER doctor, I want to, my claim to fame will be part of that, is our plans have to be editable and revisable because life happens to every single one of us, whether we're ready for it or not. And I promise you this because it happens to me every day. It happens to you every day. But I want to open everybody's eyes to this. And that's why I teach it and talk about it all the time. None of us are special. None of us are special. We're all going to have things that we're going to need to deal with. What good, bad, different, ugly, beautiful, whatever it is, we're not that unique. We all are going to face challenges. Okay. So our plans have to be editable and revisable. And again, the difference between editable and revisable is an edit is when if we have some misspellings, punctuation, grammar, those types of things, that's an edit to our plan. On our planning day, we need to check, do we need to make edits to what we're currently doing in order to get us back on track? A revision is when something isn't really going all that well and we need to make a revision to it. So we may need to rewrite a chapter or a paragraph even. It might just be that little bit of a tweak that we need because there's been a wrench thrown in the works. So our plans need to be editable and revisable. So I want you guys to utilize what I've shared with you today, because I talked yesterday about putting our plans in place to have us gain momentum, and because we were talking about success, and this all these puzzle pieces come into this, but it is very, very important. Remember, I've shared like 2 days in a row about planning. We need to properly plan that. And I've heard it said over and over and over again, poor planning leads to poor performance. And it's true. And it's true. We need to plan for what it is that we want for success, whether it be in life or business. And that's me as the entrepreneurologist with my PhD in entrepreneurology. This is what I really want to get that point across. Both our life and our business intersect and interact with each other. There's no way that you can keep everything completely separate from your personal life to how it affects you in business, or business and personal. Anybody that thinks that they can do that, I, uh, God bless you, because we really can't. It's just not possible. Everything will affect other things, whether it's subconsciously, whether you realize it or not. So, risers, that was my tip and message for today. So until next time, rise above the challenges